So hi everyone, today we are going to learn about the surface area of a square prism. So let's begin. So initially I'm gonna tell you a story. It's actually not a story, it's a problem situation. So there is a girl, as you can see in the slide, there was a girl named Shweta. It's Christmas time and she was planning to give gifts for her friends. For this, she bought some gifts placed in small rectangular boxes as we can see in this picture. And now she wants to wrap it with some gift paper. For this, she bought some. For this she wants to buy some wrap paper or gift paper, but she has no idea how much paper she needs. Otherwise, it causes wastage, right? So, can we solve the situation? Can we solve how much paper do Shweta need to cover the gifts? So, let's learn about the surface area of such rectangular boxes, about the surface area of prism, etc. Okay. So, first we need to identify what is the surface area. We know about area, right? What do you mean by area? If you are provided with some paper which is in a rectangle or any kind of form, we count the number of unit squares inside it, right? And we call the total number of unit square inside it as the area. And here the surface area we mean simply area, but as it depends upon the 3D objects. When we talk about some rectangular boxes or square boxes or triangular boxes, anything, all these are 3D objects, right? All these are 3D objects. So when we talk about surface area, it's nothing but simply adding the area of all sides of this square prism or rectangular prism, anything, rectangular boxes or anything. Simply add the area of all faces. Okay, so that we mean by the surface area. Is that clear? So now we are looking into what you mean by a prism. Okay, look at the slide. As you can see, there is a two different categorization, prism and not a prism. So what I'm going to do is I will tell you this is a prism and this not a prism. Okay, some examples are provided for prism and not a prism. You need to watch it carefully how it become prism and how it become not a prism, and try to find out the criteria, the definition, the basis which we categorize this into prism and not a prism. Okay, so look at this. In this prism, in the categorization of prism, we can see three pictures, right? First is like a kaleidoscope, right? There is a triangle at the base, and the other side we can also see another triangle. Both these triangles have same size and shape, both look alike, right? And it is connected with some straight edges. You can see this triangle and this triangle are identical, so and this is connected with some straight edges here. Likewise, look at this square prism. This rectangular box, this is a rectangle, and opposite side we can also see a rectangle. It is connected with some straight edges, so this is a prism. Now look at this. The top shape is a pentagon, five-sided polygon, right? Five-sided closed figure is a pentagon. There is a pentagon at the top and pentagon at the bottom, and it is connected with some straight edges, so this is a prism. As you can find, these three things are prism. Now look at this. The first one is like a ball. This is like a ball. It has no flat edges, and it is not a prism. The second one is cone. We are familiar with cone. You like cone ice creams, right? The base is like a circle, and there's a pointed edge at the top. This is not a prism. Now come look into the third one. It is a pyramid. You heard about Egyptian pyramid, right? The base is a square and there's a pointed top. This is not a prism. So we have found examples of prism and not a prism. From this, how we categorize these things are prism and these things are prism? Give a try. Try to think the criteria. Right? These three pictures has same looking alike bases and is connected with straight edges. So it becomes prism. Apart from this, this is the criteria by which we categorize these things into prism. The bases look alike, same size and shape, and is connected with straight edges. This is the criteria of prism. That is the criteria of prism. The identical bases are polygon shaped, and bases joined by a rectangle. This base of is a polygon shape is a little bit confusing. If we polygon, there are circle bases are also become prism. That's the difference. We can learn it learn more about this when we seriously take about the con sessions or con pyramid circular pyramids. Okay, just look into the top and bottom points, that is identical parallel bases and base joined by rectangular faces. Polygon shape is little bit confusing, don't look at it. Okay, now look at this, a square prism. From this we can we already discussed that these are prism and these are not prism. Okay, how we gonna name these things into prism? If the base is triangle, we call it simply triangular prism. If the base is rectangle, we call it rectangular prism. If the base is pentagon, pentagonal prism. When the base is square, square prism. When the base is some different thing, hexagon, it's hexagonal prism. Simply the naming is simple as like this. So here we are going to discuss about the square prism. Okay, before that, look at into this picture. It's a cube. It's a cube and it has 6 faces which are in the same shape, that is square. When it opened, it looked like this. All these 4 shapes, when we fold it, we get a cube like this. Here we are shown with, look at this, look at into the steps. When we try to fold these kind of thing, we get it is folded to form a cube like this. Okay, now look at these pictures. The first one is a square prism. It is also called cuboid. The second one is a triangular prism with the base as triangle. When we open this rectangular prism or triangular prism, it look like this. This spread out flat form of a prism is called the net of the prism. Okay, when we observe this square prism, we can see that there are 2 squares and 4 rectangles. We already seen that square prism has 2 bases in the form of squares. So there are 2 squares and there are 4 lateral surfaces for a square prism, that is the 4 rectangles. These 4 rectangles fold up to form the lateral surfaces of the square prism. Okay, and these 2 bases fold up to form the 2 bases. Squares form the bases and the rectangle forms the lateral faces. When it comes to the triangular prism, there are 3 rectangles and 2 triangles. These 3 rectangles fold up to form the 3 lateral surfaces of the prism, and these 2 triangles fold up to form the 2 bases. Okay, so what we learned, we can now for this moment we can concentrate on the square prism. Okay, the square prism has 4 rectangles and 2 squares. Is that clear? Okay. So what we learned is we learned about prism. The bases are identical, same size and shape, and is connected with straight edges. So we call it prism. What about square prism? If the bases are square, then we call it square prism. Okay, we are already aware about the surface idea of surface area. Okay, now what we done is To cut, spread out, we've learned about the spread out form of a square prism. It contains 4 rectangles and 2 squares, like this. Now what I'm going to do is to cut this first thing, that is the net of the prism, along the edges. Okay, along the edges. So what I get is 4 rectangles and 2 triangles. Okay, what I obtained is 4 rectangles and 2 squares. This is more or less like a square, and there are 4 rectangles. So when I opened the square prism, I resulted with 4 rectangles and 2 squares. Okay, now we need to find the surface area, total surface area of the square prism. For this, what I'm gonna do is to calculate the area of these 2 squares, calculate the area of these 4 rectangles, and add all these to get the total surface area of the square prism. These 2 squares are identical. So if I calculate this, it will be saying calculate the area of this square, it will be equal to this square, and if we calculate with the area of this rectangle, this will be equal with the area of these 3 rectangles. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. So the sides of the square is 5 and the rectangle's length is 15 centimeter and breadth is 15. We can do one thing. We can take this rectangle's length as 10, breadth is 5. Okay, so if this is like a rectangle and length is 10 and breadth is 5, so what will be the area? 50. Length into breadth is the formula to find the area of a rectangle. So one rectangle is 50. There are 4 such rectangles. So total area of these 4 rectangles will be 50 plus 50 plus 50 plus 50. That is 200. Okay. Now there are 2 such squares. These are 2 squares. Each side of the square is 5. So the area will be 25. These 2 squares are identical, so this area will be also be 25. If we add the area of both bases, that is both squares, we get it with 50. We already found the area of this 4 rectangles are 200 and the area of 2 squares are 50. So the total surface area will be 250. Okay. So total surface area become 250. So what we resulted with that is the base area is the area of 2 squares, lateral surface area is the area of the 4 rectangles, and by total surface area we added the area of the bases and the area of the lateral surfaces. So we learned this formula. And we found out the total surface area of the square prism by simply adding the area of the 4 lateral faces and the area of 2 bases. So how is the problem of Shweta solved? By simply measuring the sides of the square prism. She can find the area of 4, if she are using some square prism, she can find the area of the 4 rectangles and the area of 2 squares. By simply adding it, she can find the surface area of the square prism. By using this method, she can find the area of the box she is using, and from that she can calculate the how much paper she need to buy to wrap all these boxes. Okay, so that's the thing. Thank you.